Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is The Threat of Joy, and today I am building in The Sims 4 yet again. This is continuing building out Newcrest. I am on the Fern Park lot currently. I'm building right next to the house I built in the last video. I didn't really have too much inspiration for this video. I had a few pictures on Google that I was trying to base this off of, or kind of had some inspiration from, but nothing too crazy. I just kind of wanted it to be the same type of vibe as the last house, like it would be in the same neighborhood, but it's just kind of a general run-of-the-mill kind of house that you can play in The Sims. So right now, I'm just trying to figure out the layout I'm wanting. I really do kind of go back and forth this time. I had it be a bit wider at first and have those 4 windows and that door in the middle, but it was just not looking right to me. I also had it on medium wall height for whatever reason, and that never really looks good to me for a lot of builds, but especially like this kind. So I end up scrapping that and then shrinking up the house a little bit. I bring in the other side too here in a second, and it just looks a lot better. I also add this little like addition to the side of the house to give it a little bit more interest instead of it just being like, just a shotgun house or just like a straight like rectangle. But yeah, that's what I end up doing here. I then go in and add this real basic siding. It's kind of like that yellowish tan color that comes with the base game. This entire build is base game, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. Then I go in with this white flooring, the white wood flooring, on the porch. That's also from the base game, of course. Then I start planning out what I'm wanting the floor plan to look like. I kind of go back and forth again, trying to figure out where I'm wanting things. This ends up being a 2-bedroom home and a 1 full bath. Nothing too crazy. I also add in this little staircase that leads to the backyard just so there's a way to get out. Just wanted that just because I always like having access to the backyard from inside the house instead of having to go from like the front door to some gate or something like that. But I do add that in. I then go in and start placing the doors and door frames. These do change a little bit later on in the build, just when I adjust things. For instance, the bathroom I change up just because it just didn't fit all of the things I was needing in there, like the bathtub and toilet and all that type of stuff. So I end up expanding that just a little bit. But everything else, for the most part, I think stays the same, or just gets moved just slightly. But this is the basic layout of everything so far. I then move on to the primary bedroom. I kind of went with a gray and white light wood kind of feel in here. I thought that the parents, or like dad, this is who I'm picturing lived here, just is very like neat, kind of a little on the boring side of the world. And he just wants his things a certain way, and just everything's very matched and clean. That's kind of the vibe I was wanting with this room. Just very simple, put together, nothing too crazy in here. Just very livable. It kind of looks like a hotel room, honestly, to some extent, but just very simple and plain. And that's kind of who I imagined lived here. Later on, I will build the little girl's room, and I pictured she's a bit messier and a little bit more playful than him, and it kind of reflects that in the room. But for now, I'm just kind of building out what I pictured the dad or the parents' room would be kind of looking like, and it's just this very basic room, very mute tones, nothing like the daughter's room that I'm going to be building a little bit here. Right now, I am struggling with the move objects cheat and trying to place things on the dresser. I have a love-hate relationship with move objects because I really do like it, because it gives me the opportunity to actually put things where I'm wanting them to be placed. But when it does that thing where it just automatically ties to an object, even if I move it out of the way, it drives me a little insane. But I eventually get it figured out, like I always do. But that just drives me nuts sometimes. But yeah, I added a guitar too to this room just so there's a skill building object, and maybe the dad or the parents, they have one singular hobby that's kind of fun. So I added that in there. I do change it out though, because for some reason it counted that guitar as part of like a different pack just because it was part of, I think, like one of the holiday packs from like way back in the day. But yeah, I changed that out and put just, I think, the regular electric guitar or maybe the acoustic one. I don't remember exactly. But anyway, right now I am starting in on the daughter's room. It's very pink, very light wood. I kind of kept that throughout the house just because, I don't know, I just like the look of it in this build for whatever reason. I add in some skill building objects, obviously, just because if you're wanting to use this in the game, that'll be nice to have. I kind of pictured this girl to be just like a preteen, early teens girl. She likes pink. She likes to read. She plays sports. She does it all. She's just a little kid who's just having fun. And this is kind of what her room ends up looking like. I think I add some posters later on too. I add that nail polish and perfume too, just because when I was younger, I loved painting my nails. And I don't know, that seems like a nice touch. Like, I feel like all little girls kind of love painting their nails or at some point or another. So I add that in there. I then start adding the posters and everything in there. I kind of put a mix of just whatever was available from the base game. I kind of pictured that these were like her favorite musicians or favorite movies, athletes, different things like that. When I was younger, I always liked having posters, and I had like a ton all over my room when I was like a preteen, just like different bands and things like that. I can't remember exactly who, just like, I know Bring Me the Horizon was one of them, Of Mice and Men, that era. That was kind of like my teen years more, but just I had those scattered all over my room, and I don't know. I thought it was a nice touch and kind of realistic. I then go in and add that little like height thing over there, but I add that to the room, and then I kind of finish that up. I then start building the living area. I add that blue couch, and then for some reason I thought putting a table behind it at first was like the move. That did not end up being the move. I then add that little chair in there. Just kind of a simple living space for the Sims to hang out. I add the gaming system too that just came from that new event, just because why not? It's just like a nice little touch and something that your Sims can do and you can use for skill building. I also end up adding like some toys and stuff and like just clutter throughout this room. I kind of imagine that the daughter kind of has taken over the house just a little bit, at least in the living room, and like has her toys and action figures just everywhere, and she just kind of plays in the living room while her parents or her dad just watches TV. But anyway, I end up filling out the rest of the living room. I had like those two little baskets because those could be where they put blankets and things like that. I wanted to put a dollhouse, but I forgot just how massive they are, and that just did not work out. I did not put the dollhouse in here. I ended up putting like, I think another, maybe a toy box, but I don't think I even put that. But I add those other toys, like I said. Then I add this bookshelf, just because you always need that when you're playing The Sims, no matter what, just in terms of building skills. Then I go in and add the flooring and things. I added carpet to like a little section of the living room, and then into the bedrooms, and then I add like that kind of lightish wood flooring throughout the rest of the house, then obviously tile in the bathroom later on. But I end up doing that. Then right here I start adding the toys in. I kind of lined them up like she would have like put them there, like they're like following the leader or whatever. And then I add a couple of like action figures onto the little entertainment center, and then a couple other ones scattered throughout. I just thought like she'd just be, I don't know, had her toys everywhere. But then I go over and then add a little table over here where I imagine the daughter kind of throws her things onto, like her little school bag and books and things like that. Once I kind of get the shoe rack and then the coat rack kind of into place, I move over and try to decide what I want to do next. And I end up putting a little like family computer desk area, just because I feel like that's kind of realistic. Like you would have that at your house, or at least like people used to. Probably not so much anymore, but in The Sims you probably would. Again, I put like that kind of mid-tier computer just because it's annoying when that one box one breaks, and I didn't feel like having my Sims deal with that. Not that I'm necessarily playing in this house, but just theoretically. But end up decorating this area, and adding like that little board, the books, calendar, kind of the basic things that you'd probably need on a desk. Then I add in that lamp too. I really like using that lamp for all of my builds for some reason. It just speaks to me. I think just because it's actually realistic and would be something I would have on my desk, which I don't. I have like one of those like older like stained glass type lamps, like a tiny one that I got off of I think I either got at Goodwill or Shop Goodwill. One of those, I don't know, something, but I got that and it's on my desk. But anyway, now I'm moving on to the bathroom, which I feel like I usually start with just because it's easy to kind of do and kind of ease into the build with, but not today. Today I felt like doing something different. But I do the shower and then bath combo just because there's a kid in the house and I feel like that's something that they would need. Then go in kind of with the basic bathroom essentials. I end up adding a couple of accessories like the soap and the toothbrush bowl and everything like that. The little rug, just kind of standard bathroom decorations. I add the towel rack. Then I think I add a little picture above the toilet and a plant just to have a little bit more going on because the bathroom, it's going to be boring. But you can make it a little less boring if you add some stuff. I then end up finishing up the bathroom. I changed the color of that rug just because the white was kind of boring. Then I add in the tile flooring and then like the tile wallpaper too. And then that kind of wraps that up. I then move over to the like parents' dad's bedroom again. And I got rid of that other painting just because it wasn't fitting right on the wall because I moved that door down just a little bit. It also just didn't look right. I don't know why I did that originally, but anyway, I move on to the kitchen. I think I end up deleting these windows just because they're just way too big for this space, just like the kitchen area. But it's kind of a massive kitchen, like the entire counters and everything wrap around. Then I add in like kind of that mid-tier appliance just so the house isn't too expensive. That being said, I think the house ends up being like 60,000 simoleons. So, you know, it's not a starter home, even though it kind of looks like one and you could use it as one. But again, you could use cheats just to get that in there and act like your Sims bought it, like everyone does. But yeah, it ends up being about 60,000 simoleons, maybe a little bit more. I can't remember exactly. But I go ahead and finish off the kitchen. I pick that kind of like 2000s looking wood, or even like late 90s, I don't know, that wood color. Then I add this little table in the corner just so they have somewhere to sit when they eat dinner. And then I go in and accessorize the kitchen with the classic just stuff. Then my recording cutout, of course, because why wouldn't it? And I move on to the backyard. I end up furnishing the kitchen with the basic decorations, like the paper towels, like the utensils, cup, all that type of stuff. As I start building the backyard, I am looking for the like jungle gym thing to put back here just because I picture like the daughter would play outside on that. And like depending on whatever aspiration, you can kind of do whatever in this house. I think I put like the little crafts table, the violin, you got like the jungle gym. You got a bit about anything. There's also a computer too, which you could use for scaling up too. I then go in and add these trees throughout the yard to have a little bit more interest and to make it seem a little bit more real. I do the same thing in the front. I think I go in and add those like little flowers too, like I did last time, just because I think that looks good under the trees. Then I decide to go in and add the little gravel in the front. Again, go in for the backyard, do a little gravel patio type situation. I don't think it's like the pebble kind this time. It's like actually kind of stone. I can't really tell, but I do that. I then go in with the terrain paint and kind of add in some like dirt splotches throughout the yard where I imagine they would be, just to kind of make it feel a bit more real and lived in. Then go in and add those back porch lights just because. I also think that my computer cut out when I was building the front porch too, but I added a bench up there and a chess table, more skill building items. But yeah, I add that in. Then I added these little pots too for gardening, and then the little hose just because I think that's a nice little touch. But I add that in, and that kind of completes the backyard for the most part. Then I finally move up front and start landscaping. I go in with these like little flower bushes, kind of similar to my last build. I kind of tried to keep it in the same type of vibe just because like it's the same neighborhood, and like I feel like you wouldn't have like drastically different plans from your neighbors, at least not typically. But sometimes people do that, but not in this town, not in my save. Trying to keep it somewhat similar. But I go in at that little like underneath like growth flower stuff underneath. But I add that in, do the same thing on the other side. I end up picking this like orange and yellow type color scheme for this. I'm still relatively like new to landscaping. Like I've done it on like every build I've done, but like I've like actually like trying to like make it look good and like real, like, and actually like put some more effort into it. Just now getting around to that because I don't know, I was always just like afraid to do it. Then I add that car too, just because I like adding that because it makes it feel real. Add the little gravel pit kind of area where I imagine that they would park. I add that one life and death, it's not life and death, but like the event, the bike too with the cow plant head on it over here too, just because I kind of picture like, I don't know, like the daughter uses it, or like the wife or girlfriend, whoever, even the dad could use it, whoever. I just added that in just because I liked, I just like having it in my builds. Then I go in and line the entryway and then the flower beds too with these stones. It is so tedious doing this, but it makes it look just a lot better and a lot more real. And it might take a long time, but I don't know. I just really like the way it looks, and it looks a lot better than just leaving it. So I do it every time. So but this kind of wraps up the build. I don't really do anything else after this. I just kind of line the plant beds and the little entryway with the stones. I'm kind of happy with how this one turned out. I think it turned out better than the last one, honestly. There's a bit more character to it. In a second here, once I'm done lining this flower bed with the rocks, I will take you into the build and kind of show you the complete thing. So here we go. Okay, so this is the final build. Here's the front. We got the little flower beds. There is the car over here that I sized up. Then the bike and everything. Nothing too fancy in the front. Got the mailbox. Then on the deck, we've got the flowers and the windows, a little doormat. There's a little bench over here. Also have a little chess table as well. Then we can go inside to the maid area. So to the left of the entrance, we've got the living room. I have like all the little girls' toys everywhere, like I said. I just kind of imagined she like kind of took over this area to some extent and like left her toys everywhere and left them where she was left off playing. Then I have her little table as well with her school bag and books and things and just like equipment from like sports if she's playing any. Then over here we've got the family desk area and then like the coat rack and shoe rack for the parents or the dad. But yeah, that's pretty standard. Got the computer and all the decorations that typically go over there. Then we make our way over here. I added this table with the model boat and picture flowers just because I felt like it was a little empty. And I added that picture as well, and there's a picture over there. Then through this door, we've got the parents' or the dad's room. It's very simple, like I said. It's white and gray and has that like light wood vibe to it. Did end up adding that black acoustic guitar over here just because the one was from that holiday free pack from years ago that not everybody has, so I added one that everyone would have. They just have the base game. But then we head over to the bathroom. That's over here. Pretty standard, nothing too crazy going on here. I think it ended up looking pretty cute, and I don't know, I like the bathroom. Then across from that, we've got the kitchen. I added a few accessories in here, decorations. I added like the knife rack above the stove, and then like the spoons and paper towels and everything. And then the aprons and all that over here. So, yeah, nothing too crazy in the kitchen. I think it ended up looking all right. Then next to that, we have the daughter's room. Oop, didn't mean to do that. And I think it looks all right. I think it ended up the way I wanted it to. Kind of like a playful little girl's room. I don't know. It's like pink. There's a lot of skill building items in here. Just kind of fun. She got all the posters everywhere. Yeah, pretty standard. Then we have the backyard as the final little bit. We've got a grill, trash cans. We have the jungle gym. Then we have a few different like gardening areas as well, just because I don't know, I always find that skill to be useful, and I always put that in all my builds, and it's just something to fill the backyard up too, because there's not a whole ton we can put. But yeah, that kind of wraps up this build. Again, if you would like to download this house, my gallery ID is thethreatofjoy. Please feel free to download it, and please feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!